After, I think we're pretty good autopsy. I don't know.
There'll be one of burial transit.
I think we're gonna need to issue a report of death and a burial transit.
Okay.
Some of us have to work for it.
That's close.
Yeah, I think it's one.
And I'm clean.
Hey, you made it.
Minute to spare.
And I need the name of that.
Arrested? Oh, and this time, you played this lesson.
The name of that. Well, I give it. Bags. Bag. Round green. Oh, was it for sticker? Grass burst.
This is the any changes to the consent agenda.
Fire.
Read all the way through.
Do what?
Raspberry. Toast.
No. Was it for, grass burst? Said, sit down and let it change the next year. Trust me.
Okay.
I know that.
Council member and someone else just left. We'll wait a minute. We'll notice that it's 6 o'clock and we'll wait just a minute.
I need the.
John won't be here and Sherry won't be here.
Please. This con. That.
If it was further away, would you prefer it?
Hey, drinking coffee, I don't have to wear a mask, right?
I'm thirsty myself.
As long as in my glasses, I don't feel that bad. Until I don't wear one very often. Oh, please, Chief's here.
Well, I'm
Drinking.
Okay.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Here we go. All right, so we'll call this meeting to order. City of Dalhart City Council. First item on our agenda. Let's open with a prayer, please. Ryan?
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your faithfulness and thank you for the moisture that we've had the last couple of days. We just ask that you would protect our city workers and emergency responders with the heat that we've had, and just even hearing the fire engines going out. I ask that you keep them safe as they go and respond to that situation. Father, give us wisdom as we look at opportunities in front of us to give leadership and direction to our community. I just ask that you help us to make wise decisions. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. First item on the regular agenda is the consent agenda, which includes the meetings for the regular meeting from June 23rd, the special meeting from July 8th, approval of the June financial reports, and approval of the June bills. I've read over the minutes. I didn't see anything wrong. Did anyone else see anything need to change? Okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I second that.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed?
Oppose the financial.
Okay.
You what?
He
Oppose
opposes the financial.
Oh, okay.
On the regular agenda, we have public comments. Do we have anyone that has public comments? Okay. All right. Item number 2, consider an act upon recommendations from the Planning and Zoning Commission and conduct the first reading of ordinance 2020-13 on the proposed zone change of Section 5, Block 48, H and TC Railroad Company, City of Dalhart, Dallen County, Texas, from R3 residential to commercial zoning to establish a manufactured home park. Let's open this. I need a motion to open this.
I make a motion, we
Open
open
this
the
reading.
first reading of ordinance 2020-13.
Motion made and seconded to open the first reading of ordinance 2020-13. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Code? Anyone want to speak to this, or Councilman Hancock?
We do have a question. It's been brought to us that they're not sure that it meets the qualifications of 2 acres. And so they just went and kind of ran it, and it's 1.999.6 acres.
Okay.
I think that is correct. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, 1.996.
That's almost 2. Is there enough to fudge on that?
And I understand that some of it's already zoned commercial, some of it's R3, but Some of it's already zoned
Already zone
commercial.
commercial?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's adjacent to commercial, some commercial
Okay.
property.
So it meets all the other zoning requirements. But we don't know if we want to make an exception to under 2 acres. I mean, it's,
Council, where's that put us with precedents?
I don't think we've ever had anything quite be that close. The hard part is if you make an exception here, you can make it a difference. And so I probably say unless we absolutely have to, I think it makes sense just to make it 2 acres.
So to keep that 2 acre rule. So
The other option would be to take it to the variance committee, I would think. And if they would give him a variance for that.
do you get the variance before you, I guess, you have to come back with a variance first with permission from the board or recommendation from the board
Yes.
to the council. And then the council then could vote on this.
Yeah, you can
So-
take the recommendation of.
Okay. James, when's the next variance committee meeting? Whenever we call it? All right, what's the feeling?
I think I agree with council on that,
Council's telling us
we
to-
can't change.
So I have a recommendation to table 20.
I make a motion that we table. I forgot the number.
2013.
2020.
Okay,
/13.
I'll second that.
okay, we have a motion to table ordinance 2020-13 and wait from recommendation from the variance. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Motion 2020-13 is tabled until we hear from the variance. Item number 3 on the agenda is to conduct public hearing and second reading of ordinance 2020-12. This is the rezoning to from R3 to special use zoning to place a manufactured home at 1016 Matlock. Need a recommendation to open?
Make a motion, we open the second reading of ordinance 2020-12.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to open the second reading of ordinance 2020-12. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Any more comments? This is a new motorhome. Is that new manufactured home?
No, it's actually at 2009, I believe.
Okay.
That's when we see pictures, right?
I saw the
This is the
pictures
one
of it
that we
last,
saw,
and
yeah,
it's, yes,
yeah.
we saw the pictures
Yeah.
last time.
Look
Very
really
nice.
good.
Very, very good
Okay.
shape,
Okay.
excellent shape.
All right.
So
Any comments from anyone concerned about it? Okay.
Make a motion, we close the second reading of ordinance 2020-12.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to close the second reading of ordinance 2020-12. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Item number 4 is to adopt ordinance 2020-12, rezoning the west 15 feet of lot 13, the east 22.5 feet of lot 14, block 67, Blair Division, City of Dalhart, Dallen County, Texas, from R3 residential to special use.
I'd make a motion that we would adopt ordinance 2020-12.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt ordinance 2020-12. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. That one's done.
Francis, do we need to start showing hands?
I can't see, I can't hear.
Fogging up your glasses.
We need that little flag we raise up and.
There you go.
Hey. Presentations for funding community development fund. If you look in your packet, you're going to see that each one of them, I believe, but we're going to have one representative from each one of these requests. Is that right, James?
The XIT directors is just sending one
Okay.
instead of their big group because of restrictions
Oh,
and
yes.
stuff.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know who else came.
Who else came? All right. Chief, who's out there?
I got multiple. I got the XIT, we have the pedal pushers, several
Chamber,
chambers here.
Okay.
Want me just to call them in as
Just pick one of them. Yeah.
I enjoyed our fireworks show.
Did you? It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Did you do it? You slipped through it? 8 a.m.?
4 a.m. for 3 weeks in a row.
I would still be sleeping.
Tired.
At the,
Okay.
What's going on?
Not enough. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
Not too bad. So I guess you guys probably got our request. As most of you know, there's probably a 99.9% chance we are not having SIT this year. Not looking real good for us. Even to reschedule. We have invested a lot of money already. And so we're asking if you guys would be interested in helping us. We usually spend about $13,000 a year on Frisbees. We throw a lot of them here and then at all the parades that we go to promote XIT and get people to come, here when we do get to have XIT. So I don't really have a lot to say. You guys kind of know what shape we're in. We've already invested a lot of money, so anything we can get to help us survive over to next year so we can put on next year's event will be greatly appreciated. You got any questions?
No, we have a written request, $13,000. 6,500.
Yeah, we're
I
just
saw the
asking for half.
13,000. I didn't read the bottom piece. Okay,
Yeah, we're just asking for half
okay, all right.
or whatever. We'll take whatever.
We'll present this to the committee and have them bring recommendations to the council and then get a hold of everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce.
I only read the top piece. More. Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hello, I'm here for pedal pushers. You all received our letter.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know in the past, we've always said we don't need it, but this year we really have some plans. We need to redo the bed in the middle, and we're hoping to get a sign, but just what y'all consider.
okay, we have a copy of your letter. Again, we'll hand these to the committee. And they'll kind of get us an idea of what we need to do. And get a proposal back to us, okay?
All right,
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Community Connect, right?
Yes.
Can I get all of you a catalog?
No.
So you have an idea of what we're doing? One pass it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Matt to talk to them?
There's another one.
Okay, thank you. I'm Barbie Walker, representing Community Connect. So we are a community education and enrichment program here in Dalhart. We function year-round and are completely dependent on funding to continue to make this happen. In your catalog in front of you, that's our summer catalog. That's the biggest program we have all year. Summer programs to keep kids busy, to keep them off of their Xboxes, and actually learning something. So we have fun science camps. Every year we do a beautification project. In even years, or odd years, we switch off between Trash Bash and Make a Blooming Difference. So 2 years ago, we did Make a Blooming Difference at the nursing home, went and planted flowers. This year was at the Rita Blanca Lake Center, went out and cleaned out flower beds, and we promote the event. We get volunteers to show up and to work, and we provide all the tools and gloves and feed them lunch. And people show up and invest time and energy and effort into our community. We also have extensive ESL programs where we send instructors out mainly to a lot of the different farms and send an ESL instructor out there to teach ESL classes between shifts. And it's kind of become always an incentive that they're offering to their employees of, we'll give you free English classes through Community Connect if you come and work for us. which has, this past year, that program has exploded, or ESO program has. But that's basically enrichment classes. And also for students who come to Frank Phillips and are wanting to get in, but they can't pass the admission test to get into Frank Phillips, we provide tutoring for them that prepares them to pass the TSI tests, which you have to pass a reading, writing, and a math test in order to be accepted into college. So Community Connect provides some tutoring for these students who are struggling to pass, so they can pass those classes and then get accepted to college and then go on and change their lives, change generations, and change their families. So anyway, I'm asking for the same amount of money that I have for the last 3 years, just to continue the funding. With all of our camps, if you'll notice the cost on those, they're all like $20 or $15 to $30. When I first came on board, most of the camps were about $60 per kid. And that just limited the amount of people who could actually attend. And so with the funding we received from you, we're able to subsidize the cost of those camps, cut them in half, where every kid in Dalhart had the opportunity to come and learn fun things. One of the first camps we did this summer was a dissection camp. It was vet med camp. And, you know, not every kid has the opportunity to go to Disney World and to go see sharks in real life. So we bring those sharks to Dalhart. And these kids dissected sharks and turtles and starfish and pigs and calves. And they're able to just kind of dig in. And some kids are like, I want to be a surgeon now. Others think, I wanted to be a surgeon, but this is gross, not now. But it's fun just to give them that opportunity. Our science camps are highly popular. This year we did a Nerf gun modification camp where we taught them how to take apart the Nerf guns, put in stronger springs. And then we had like this epic battle. It was like a party at Frank Phillips College where kids are running around with black lights and strobe lights and they're shooting each other in the dark. And it was a lot of fun. Anyways, we're continuing to request funds so we can continue to run our program. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Same amount as last year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, how are y'all?
Wonderful. Very top.
So I'm with the Dalhart Chamber of Commerce. We are requesting $19,700. It's the same request we did last year, I believe. So since the Fiddlers contest is part of the XIT and XIT is canceled, we are scratching that off also. So that is part of it, deducted from it. And then $7,500 for the 4th of July celebration. We do same amount every year. I think Ashley talked to James and said it was okay to do that. I don't know. It wasn't me, so don't choose the messenger. And then the National Night Out Trunk or Treat. So the budget for the National Night Out for the swag, the entertainment and activities is $5,000, and since we're combining it with the trunk or treat or the trick or treat festival, it will be $2,500. So that way it can have the candy for all the vendors, the bounce houses, and then decoration if it's in the Coliseum because of the weather, because every year it is a hot mess. And then for the downtown Christmas lighting, it would be $5,000. We would be putting Christmas decorations up along the Veterans Memorial Park and then the courthouse lawn and the Highway 87 flower beds. So we're going to be having it on Friday, November 20th instead of December, so that way hopefully more people come out and stuff. We also have like several businesses participating in the Santa shopping promotion that we do and stuff, so that way we'll have more businesses open during that time. So it'd be $5,000 for the new lights and decoration, Santa Claus and the Mrs. Claus, that's $200 every year. The candy for Santa, which is $100. The lighting contest prizes is $900, and then advertising is $600. Thank you for reviewing and considering this proposal from the Dalhart Area Chamber of Commerce. Your support for these events and activities are really appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Is there Council have any questions? You went over most of it? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
That's all I see. Is that correct?
That's it.
Okay. Try not to put the same people on the committees all the time. So I think, Brian, will you head this up?
I'd be glad to.
And I think Mr. Lepke hasn't been on one yet. So let's put him and, I'm not gonna pick on him yet.
No, I have a question about that because
Okay.
my wife's name's on one of the letters.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna recommend that Sherry be on this also. So you and John and Sherry, okay?
Okay.
That keeps us from having a quorum. Go over these. Make sure if you need James with you, that's cool.
Yeah.
Figure out what you need, how much we have, and what we did last year kind of thing. Okay, and then come back with some recommendations.
We'll do that.
Okay. Back up to my agenda. Item number 7, consider an act upon request. No, we have appointment of committee. I've done that. Consider an act upon request from Randy White to sell building at airport for a purpose which is not a public purpose. Randy, how are you?
I'm good.
Please,
What do you?
do y'all have questions? James, do we need a background?
Well, we looked back on this and Francis found where
Well,
this was actually approved by the airport board in
let's see.
2005, but it was never taken before the council.
All right. So let's go ahead and open this, since it has to be discussed by the council as a business.
Yeah.
matter. So I have a recommendation to open a consideration.
So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Okay. Hi.
So anyway, so I've owned that pig barn out there for 15 years now. Got pigs in that thing and have not had any problems. And we've sold our spraying business, and so we're really in a kind of process of trying to get ready to start liquidating all the buildings out there. So Gene asked me about buying that building, and so he could keep his kids' show pigs in there. So anyway, so I would like to see about selling that.
And leave it like it is?
Leave it like it is. Yep.
The airport board met again and they didn't like the idea of the livestock. I didn't think it would be, since it was pre-existing, but they don't want to have $1 million planes running into pigs. So the guy that is actually offering to buy it has said that he would put an additional area for them to walk the pigs so that they wouldn't be an extra security area. So they would hopefully eliminate that.
I mean, it's show pigs. They're not gonna get out and they're not gonna get free. I mean, I've been around the show pig business for a long time and I've been around that barn for the past 15 years.
And let me tell you, you're gonna run a greater risk of a $1 million airplane gathering up a city lawnmower or the city pickup or Berlin Kane's pickup or one of his cows. Cause over the years, I've almost hit all of the above multiple times. So them worrying about a pig, getting out of that pig barn and walking across there and getting taken out a $1 million airplane is a far-fetched.
And they've already taken care of what I was concerned with was the pile of manure. So it's all been hauled off.
And Gene's already got an agreement made with Harvey Gordon to clean by there once a month or whatever it is and haul that stuff off.
And Gene is who wants to buy it from you?
Yes, Gene Fisher.
And it's a shorter period of time. I mean, he's gonna have pigs in there from November to,
Well, and that was the original deal, says 5 months out of the year.
till
I don't
March.
understand, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't find that in city minutes, because I know that Greg, in the beginning, so when that all started, I had to go, we started building, I think I had 2 posts stuck in the ground, and Greg Dugan came out there and stopped me and said, hey, you need to stop what you're doing, and you've got to go through these steps. We stopped what we were doing, I went before the airport board, and After that, I don't know why they couldn't find it in the city, because I know I came before the city council about that. Greg would not have made me gone through this, he was the city manager here, would not have made me go through the steps of step one and not going through step two. I've got about $60,000 tied up in that building. I guarantee I would not have done it. And,
Let's wait, put it back on here, because we couldn't find it in the minutes.
right.
Well, that's okay. Let's back on here.
Yeah.
We're addressing the concerns. Council have questions about it? Professional here is,
Yeah, leave it to the professional.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we let him sell it.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second to allow the sale of this property and for it to be used, continue used in the same way it is. With a couple of changes in how they deal with certain things, walking and handling the manure. Is that the only things, James, that you've had any?
Yeah, that's all I had an issue with.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Any concerns? All right.
Was that the Lord opposing?
That was Lord voting.
Yeah. So anyone nay? Very good. It passes. We're good to go.
So I guess you'll work, I will work out on transferring that lease and all that. All right, thank you.
Got it. Thank you. Item number 8. Consider an act upon recommendations from the airport board to lease 2 properties on the airport taxiways to Lusk Farms. These are for $2,000 per month each while in use.
Yeah, he didn't get his, he bought a property, but he didn't get work done that he needed to get done to it, so he's asking to stay out here where he's at and use the sections of runway down from Bailey's that he used last year, and the section that he's in, we're in front of that burn hangar again. And so this is a recommendation airport. That's what we charged him last year for that area. It was $2,000, so $2,000 for the other
Airport
one
board
as
made
well.
that recommendation?
Yes,
Everything okay?
yes, everything's good.
All right.
I make a motion that we approve the lease for property on the taxiway Lust Farm for $2,000 per month for each month while in use.
A second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the lease agreement, $2,000 per month, each month that it's in use. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Very good. Number 9, it's that time of year.
It is.
Budget workshop.
Department guys have all turned their stuff in. Just if y'all have anything, last year, the only thing additional that we tried to put in was the bathroom at the swimming pool. So, as long as budget holds up, we'll get that done before the end of the year. If there's anything additional that y'all want to try to put in our budget, let me know. And we'll see price wise how it goes. We've tried for several years to get a new toy at the swimming pool, but you're talking $100,000 and $150,000 a minimum, and that just doesn't fit.
So you're asking
Take it
now
out.
for, if we have anything to put in, or do we come to you later, or was that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking y'all if y'all want to try to put anything in now.
I do. I would like to get our police department more money to keep our police officers here.
A what?
I'd like to get a pay raise for our police officers so we can keep them longer than a year after their training and then they leave.
Are we just going to address police officers then?
Well, no, that's one thing I want to bring up. Yes, the police department. That's what I'm bringing up at this point.
There was I think it was a presentation a few months ago, something about our police department was one of the lowest paid departments in the Panhandle, or the lowest. But I haven't heard anything else about that since that presentation.
We don't see
This is the correct time to do it.
We
We're
don't see
talking
them
about-
staying.
James, is there an organization that
Correct?
consult with us and compare what other,
Oh,
police-
PRPC does,
can we get a report from them as to what
I
our
can get-
salary,
I can
not
get a-
just for police officers, but for our
Yeah.
other positions too?
Yeah.
And
they do a salary survey every year.
that would be awesome to be able to, and I mean, I don't mind us being a little higher. We try and do that in the school district so that it's easier to attract people and keep people. But it's very helpful to have a comparison with what our other communities in our area
Mhm.
are looking like. So
Yeah, we've done this several times, so because we actually, because our competing is with Hilmar, Sweet Brand, and the places like that for all of our employees. So not just the police officers. We got our sanitation drivers, because it's hard for us to get CDL drivers as well. If Dean Graham or somebody else, we get them licensed and they go to work for them. It's just, it's a little circle.
Let's keep them here. I mean, we gave
So
them
I
one
think-
last year, but
I think, James, what I'm hearing is that we need to work on looking at all of the pay for all employees.
Yep.
And
That works.
concentrate on doing something.
So
So
that part of that salary committee,
That's the salary committee's
Yeah.
job. Yeah, but if y'all really want to look at it, like I said, we'll do, look at it for, have you examples for 3%, 5%, 6%, whatever you have.
you need that committee today.
No. And when we get
Can I
into,
chew on that?
because we got to see how much is going to raise taxes.
I chew on that before I get you a committee for that.
Like the second one when we do that.
That's what I got. All right.
James, one of the questions, and you may not have a answer, is the governor or I think it was the comptroller came out about a month ago with a recommendation for some entities to reduce their budget. Where do we fall in that as a city?
We're not required to reduce our budget, but this will not fall in line with that. We almost run a bare bones budget as is, other than the salaries, so. Well,
But there are things we can do.
we'll make those presentations, like I said, put it all together and like I said, put the whole package together and see where we're gonna be at and see what y'all wanna do.
And once we have numbers, we can see what we have to unplug and plug back. Once we figure out what priorities are.
There's also been a few requests out there, we put those bathrooms out in the parks.
Do what now?
We put the bathrooms in the parks.
Mhm.
Someone brought it to my attention that like down by the fishing pond, that's a long walk to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's possible to put one footer that way.
We can put them wherever you want, but like, it comes with that cost.
Right.
Yeah, you're talking 31 to $36,000 each.
Done and done.
And the same thing with playground equipment. And those things might be, I don't, someone else will need to do it, but those might be better addressed to EDC.
And we
Because
have
they
some
can, they
people that
can
have
pay for those
requested,
such things.
requested to be in charge of that. So we'll see what they do. They'll put some things together.
I love all of those. That'd be great.
so did he.
Okay. So this budget workshop is like, what if we could have everything we want? And then you'll take it from there? What,
It's just.
on the running side of things. We've been kind of careful about how we were doing things and, not counting negs before. Do we need any other equipment? Or do we consider any other equipment in the budget for our transfer station?
Well, it depends on what we're gonna do with the counties.
So that's kind of up in the air still.
Yeah. Because I know Dalhart County is all in, but Hartley County, since they're, 80% of their citizens live in Dalhart too.
Yeah.
I kind of need them on board with tractor and trailer. We haven't started those negotiations. We haven't even started on transfer station yet.
Right.
We've talked about it,
The
but
big cat out at the dump is working?
it's been replaced.
Okay.
It
So,
was replaced last year.
yeah, so we're in good shape there. Do we need another trash truck?
Not right now.
Okay. You got the other one?
We
running?
just got the one that took 2 years to
Yeah,
get,
okay.
That's like a new truck.
unless we wreck another one.
Had a lot of people ask me why about street sweepers. We have one.
We have one. It's, like I said, it's kind of a lemon.
Now, how much do they cost?
$280,000.
$200,000.
That's three.
I should have went with my gut instinct and got with a mechanical broom when we first started. But we went with a vacuum and
So 300,000.
You can always tell where he's been.
Any other?
We've actually looked at trading it already and nobody wants it. So what's the best offer you got? Like 60,000?
Oh, wow. That hurts.
Guyman's got some real nice small ones that I guess really do a really good job. They're
like parking lot ones almost.
yeah, but they do all their city
They do
streets
all
with
the
it.
streets. But it's like a bunch of bugs.
You know, well, it's our Model A gutters are
Yeah,
kind of unforgiving on
yeah.
a vacuum. Once it gets bent up and stuff, so.
So, other than that, big things that we know we're gonna have to worry about.
The
I mean, we have to
future,
worry about all of them,
future's
but-
gonna have to tell whether we're gonna do a development.
Yeah.
Or not, because we don't have a Traco
Yeah.
or the safety equipment to do that with at this time, so.
So we need to look
If
at how
we
much,
move forward with a development, we'll probably have to look at a Traco.
I think
and,
everyone
trench
on
box.
this council is kind of thinking that's a good idea. But we need to know how much those are gonna be.
Well, we've already got 3 estimates on used equipment there.
Okay.
So if we move forward, we kind of know what we're looking at.
Is it cheaper to buy a used than it would be to lease with the
Oh,
time that we're gonna?
lease was expensive, $6,000 a month. And what
Plus,
we
I
were looking at was
I think there's a
109
lot of things
to
we can use a Traco for,
169,000
I think so too.
to buy one.
including digging out the lake that
Used.
we need to dig out and some other stuff. So that's the candy. The important part is.
It'll be a necessity if we move forward with that.
All right. That was my questions. Anybody else?
What's the percentage? What percentage of our budget are salaries?
Oh, well, there's some differences in funds, but the general fund is 30-ish. Water sewer fund is a little higher than that. And then we have a few spread out in there, but the general fund's the main one that the most employees are in.
What is our total budget, annual budget?
Including all funds.
All funds.
All funds?
We spend, expenditures are about $6 million. Not counting any special projects or capital
Right.
projects.
And all funds, probably 12 million with everything.
Yeah, but under 15 million. 15 million is what was a cutoff for something last year that they were talking about. But I don't know if that legislation went through.
Oh, you're talking about the tax deal?
Yeah.
No, we're well under that.
Okay,
That's specific to the general fund.
Yeah,
just the general, okay, all
Mhm.
right. Okay,
because the water and sewer are self-supporting through.
right.
And
And then I know that we
You know, our
we have a lot in
sanitation,
the airport fund that's handled a certain way. And
we don't have a lot in the airport, but we have,
but I mean, we have a
it's
budgeted
separated.
amount for.
Yeah. And the same thing with the sanitation is in the general fund because it wouldn't support itself without it.
Right.
And we're probably going to have to look at, depending on how we look at doing it, we know we're going to have to, it would take a minimum of $4 per household. And I'm wanting to do that as $2 and then use our 2022 bond when it comes off and use that to supplement until we get that paid off.
Okay.
But that's something else y'all are gonna have to tell me if it's okay to do or not.
Okay.
So we don't have to go up on utility rates so much.
What's the average right now, sewer and water?
Do what now?
What's the average sewer and water right now? Is there an average?
Oh, well, not really. I mean, there's not an average. It just depends on what you want to do as far as
How much water you?
consumption, yeah. So we have that all broke down to, if you use 0 to, you know, it's like the scale.
I know, yeah.
So there's a minimum.
Most, if you break it all down, probably between 6,000 gallons is what most people use. You average it across the board.
Hopefully they're not watering out there now.
Free water.
Mother Nature.
Anything else?
One of the things that have been brought up is the infrastructure, street repairs and that sort of thing. Does that get included in that, or
It's in your street budget, yeah.
that we can increase the budget for those repairs or what?
Whatever fits in the budget. There's only so much of a
Yeah, I
pie.
understand that.
We'll put it in there again to do repairs. Yeah. When I first came here, we were putting in about 100 grand a year. We're putting over 300,000 in each year now. So, and we'll be seal coating streets again. We run on an 8-year program. We were actually ahead, so we could come off and do some brick streets. We'll be doing brick streets the rest of this year, but we'll be back on our program next year.
Seal coat.
Seal coat. Yep. We've added 90-something blocks, of new paving to it all over town. So
I'd like to see some.
with that, you
repairs.
got Spirit Trail and you got all of that stuff, all has to go up. So
I'd like to see some of our downtown sidewalks and things.
sidewalks are not ours.
I'm talking about where the street, where the
The gutter,
caving under, we're caving from the bottom to the street. Like K's Interior and stuff like that, between that block right there. It's looking pretty sad.
that's the gutters, yes.
And how did Stratford come up with Stratford redid their downtown beautifully.
You apply for a grant.
Okay.
We've had one grant.
They
since I've
had
been-
one that they did several years ago.
Quite a few. Was it before you came?
Do I down?
Was it before you came or right
Yes,
after?
it's before I ever came.
Yeah.
That's where they got all the fancy light posts and the lights and
Oh, that was
all
nice.
that down through town.
All of that came through a grant and stuff. And
Downtown revitalization.
And it's not to be had anymore.
Yeah.
might be. Brad, have you looked into those lately?
Yeah, a lot of the grants are tough at the moment.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of tough, but it will be tricky to get a significant amount of money.
And it will take in a significant amount of money.
If you're talking about concrete work like that, yeah.
Well, worth looking into. Okay,
I agree.
I think so.
They're all competitive. It's just like when I got the 2-step grants
Right.
for the water lines and all those things. All of those are competitive grants. And the problem is, we no longer fall into low to moderate income. And you don't qualify if you do not have a section of town that falls into low to moderate income. So more than in, that's why all the grants that we've gotten were for the north side. That's where we can get qualification over there.
Well,
We're good.
I think it's raining on us.
That's it.
I think that's it. Let's see.
You missed out on that one.
Timing of this race. I said, it's not gonna hit here. 10 o'clock.
That's all
Any
right.
comments?
I'll take it.
Workshop?
Nope, we will
Yes.
put that together and get back with you.
Okay. Motion to,
Make a
Wait till
motion
Sherry
to
comes
adjourn.
back.
I have to wait till Sherry gets
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Till we can.
We'll just camp out.
So I have a motion to dismiss?
Yes.
Okay, in a second. Very good. All in favor?
Bye.
It was one of us.
It was pretty.
All at the same time.
We were talking about it.
Yeah, it was fine.
Well, if y'all haven't met Wendy,